Those are much more fun. Over to the right-hand side, that is an East African black rhinoceros. We have two of them in this enclosure. There's one right next to us at the feeding trough there. Another one way in the back, not quite as social. These rhinos tend to be a little bit more solitary, primarily because they live in a more forested environment. And with the heavy cover around, the lack of social predators like lions, they don't have to be quite as concerned about living in a group. Okay, I'm going to try and sneak up on somebody. Hold on. Keep your eyes to the right. Nope, she noticed us. Now that's not the only one. There's a couple deer to our right. We just passed by the female. Those of you up in the front will notice looks like a yearling male. Don't worry though, these are not breakouts.
They're break-ins.
These are break-ins. They're little California mule deer, our locals, the freeloaders. They don't live here, they just help us eat all of our extra food. Along with the rabbits and the squirrels and the possums and the raccoons and the skunks and, you know, everyone else who lives in Southern California. As cute as they are, though, we're out here to see Africa. Look over to the left. See the giraffes off in the distance? Across the pond? We'll be getting a lot closer up to them in just a couple minutes here. And you'll notice with the giraffes, in this huge enclosure, there are a dozen other species of animals. Antelope and buffalo and rhinos and ostrich all living together and all interacting together just like they would in the wild. That's what makes the park special, what makes us unique, what makes us different from a more traditional zoo. Because our animals are very comfortable and at home, they tend to be much more likely to have babies. That's why we have hundreds of babies a year. Keep your eyes open, I'm sure we'll see some of them today. Right now, though, we're going after giraffe. It's going to be a wonderful view. I'm very excited about this. Get ready to the left-hand side. There's a full-grown adult female walking right along the road. Okay, I'm going to stop right here, and hopefully she'll just stroll right down the side of the tram. Look at her playing with that leaf and that branch in her mouth. Her tongue is semi-prehensile, so it works just like human fingers. She can stick it out, wrap it around what she wants, pull it into her mouth. Look at her. She walked exactly halfway back on the tram and stopped right there to show off to everybody. What a prima donna. Although I suppose giraffes really have the ability to be, with their striking height. A female adult giraffe is usually about 15 feet tall. So, let's see some giraffes who are a little bit smaller than that. Just up here we have a couple juveniles. Not quite fully grown yet, but not really what you could call babies anymore. There's one over our left-hand shoulders, another one up near the front. I have a feel I'm going to join them in just a second here. These ones are about 2.5, 3 years old. It'll usually take giraffes about 6 years before they reach their full adult height, which, as I mentioned, is about 15 feet tall for females, about 17 foot tall for males. But let's look at some babies. I wanted to show you those too, just a little bit further up. Tannish antelope with corkscrew-shaped horns. Those are eland, the most massive antelope in the world. And they are spread all over the hillside. There's a couple babies. One's at a feeding trough right next to us. That's the closest one. Looks like a mother and calf pair. A little bit further back in a small depression in the ground, there's two more baby eland there. And then if you look over your left-hand shoulder, there's 3 more baby eland up near the fork in the road. And the one thing you'll notice with the eland is that they don't necessarily hang out with their mothers. Eland are actually much more closely attached to their friends than they are to their mothers. Now, the reason for that is that the eland social structure is relatively weak. Animals join the herd and leave it relatively frequently, just kind of wander in and out. And the babies need a little bit more stability than that.
Those are something else.
So they find their friends, and they create their own herds.
Sometimes lions take elands as friends.
Oh, look at this. Up to our left-hand side, we've got a rhino styling her horns, it looks like. Over to the left-hand side. So what a rhino's horn is a big chunk of fibrous keratin. The same protein that you find in human fingernails and hair. That means that much like our hair and our fingernails, the rhinos like to keep them trim. They'll come up to rocks or trees, scrape their horns up against them in order to get them filed properly. Now this particular female, you'll notice her back horn is a little bit unusual, curves into her front horn, so our keepers actually have to help her with that, keep that back horn shaved down so that it doesn't pressure the front horn too much and pop it off. Now that's not anything particular, just a little genetic quirk of this particular rhino.
So they cut it. They cut it for her.
We'll talk more about rhino horn a little bit later in the tour. For right now, however, we've got some buffalo to take care of. Just up here, and they are being much more social than the buffalo usually are. Oh, and they've got friends. Oh, wonderful. Okay, buffalo to the left. To the right-hand side are Somali wild ass. Silver in color with the black striping on the legs. Those are one of the most endangered animals out here. Due to the war in Somalia, unfortunately, they've just been devastated. Less than 300 of them left in the world now. So we're very happy to have a herd of the Somali wild ass here. Just as we are happy to have a herd of the buffalo, too. What's going on here? They getting run around by a wildebeest? Well, that's not right. Look at that wildebeest. Silver in color with the black face and short inward curving horns. That's our big old bull, it looks like. And I think he's trying to show off for the ladies, proving how tough he is by giving the buffalo a little run around. Now, the buffalo are kind of giving him his space right now. They're not too interested in confrontation. Which is very good for the wildebeest, because if the buffalo so decided, they could, drop kick him straight out of this enclosure and halfway to the moon. They are about 3 times bigger than he is. But at the moment, look like they're content just to let him show off, not cause too much of a fuss about it. It's not worth their time or their energy. Okay, just to warn you here, we've got a hill to climb, and I'm letting you know because while we're climbing the hill, I cannot stop. And we might see some stuff like that rhino just over to our left. I'll do my best to point it out and tell you what we see. The rhino right now is inside of a smaller enclosed area, as are a couple buffalo just up ahead. Those are called bomas. Bomas are part of our animal care system here at the park. They're used for animals who need extra privacy for one reason or another. Usually because of an injury or an illness or a social issue. Something else perhaps that requires the special attention of our keepers. Sorry, I just trailed off. I'm really sorry about that. We might have something really cool happening right now. Okay. Across to the left, I want you to look all the way over to the next hill. You'll see a couple trees out there, right along the wall. Relatively close to each other. Look just to the right of them. And, I wish my eyes were better. There's a female antelope right there, and she's licking at something. I think we have a brand new baby, ladies and gentlemen. Look how wobbly it is on its legs. Those are roan antelope. Okay, what I'm going to do is they are fortunately right along the road. We're going to make a big U-turn here. I'm going to get up around there as quickly as I can. We'll go find out exactly what's happening, alright? I wouldn't be surprised if it was new baby roan antelope. Some of the females have been very pregnant. Almost double their size, it seems. So it would not surprise me.
It is.
Once we get a little bit closer, if it is a brand new baby, I'll put a radio call in for the keepers. Usually what they do in case of a new baby is they come out, they take the baby, they make sure it's not injured or it doesn't have any diseases or anything like that, and then usually they just give it straight back to mom. Because the easiest way to raise a calf, as you might imagine, is to have mother do it. He does look pretty young. Let's see, there's a couple ways to tell it. We're going to be able to get right up on top of the action here. Okay, he's still got the flopsy ears, which means that he's very young. What Mom is doing right now is she's teaching the baby how to defecate. Which means that it is almost certainly only just a couple days old. Now I'm looking at the ears. That's a dead giveaway. Yeah, it doesn't have an ear tag. This is brand new, ladies and gentlemen. I would guess probably within the last couple hours. So I'm going to get on the horn, and I'll be back to you in just a couple seconds. Make sure you take a picture of this. This is cool. Be right back.
I think the grass is really big.
Hard for everybody moving the tram.
Oh, there we go.
Here he comes.
You see it?
Yeah,
They feed him in his feeders. They put food in his feeders and they fill the water troughs for him, and then he comes to us.